Oh my god. Oh my god. Boy, I just recorded the whole video for you guys. Killer insights, killer gains, gave you all the knowledge, dropped all the... God damn! And I forgot to click record, pimp. I just sat here for 20 minutes going and breaking these charts down for you guys. So I'm taking my time, and it's gonna be a good video. But damn, I forgot to click record. Anyways, welcome back. Thank you for joining the channel. This is G Money with G Money University. And today's gonna be a quick video if I can get through it again. Let me make sure I'm recording this damn thing, bro. I just sat here and Jesus. So today, you clicked on this video because it says how to make $1,000 in a day, which I'm gonna genuinely teach you. Today, I'm gonna break down the trade I took this morning on US 30 and how I made over $1,300 within less than 2 hours in my day. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so now that we're back here on the charts, let's go ahead and find where we were at this morning because it's later in the day, so prices already moved some. Let's go back to where I took this trade. I have this nifty indicator. If you guys want to use it, it's called trading sessions. What this does is it allows me to have these boxes. It shows each trading session. It's not going to help you trade better, but what it does is it will help you be able to figure out what time the markets start and end at, and when they overlap, and when they consolidate, and when they're most volatile. So it's a good handy thing to have. So I keep it on there. All right, cool. Next, I have a trading plan. Right, you have to have a trading plan. And in my plan, I don't trade US 30 before 6:30. And when I hop on the markets, I'm simply looking for support and resistance levels and trend lines. So let's go ahead and let's put this in replay mode so we can actually act like this is a live market. So you guys can see what I was looking at this morning. So up to this last candlestick, this is about 6 a.m. in the morning, right? 30 minutes before I'm gonna even get into a trade. What I'm gonna do is simply look for my support and resistance levels. So easiest one that I'm gonna mark off is this one at the top, okay? This is a resistance level. So I see this one. So for this to even be something that I look at, because it's so far from where price was actually at, I need price to come up, close above this level, and I would enter my trade to look for a buy. My first step is you want to find out what trend you're in, right? So I have a resistance level. One of the important things of knowing what trend you're in is you don't want to get caught trading against the trend, right? You don't want to be trying to sell in a uptrend. You don't want to be trying to buy in a downtrend. So simply how you find that is just scroll out, right? You're going to scroll out the market. There you go. So just scroll out and you can easily see, right? It's a lot more clear when you do it like this, right? Boom. So what I'm going to simply do here is we're going to find a trend. I look at this and I can see this is an uptrend. I'm going to make another video on how to find trend lines. So be patient. We'll get to that video another time. Currently, we're just breaking down my trade this morning on how to teach you guys how to make $1,000 in a day. So boom, I'm in an uptrend. This is what I seen this morning. I'm all right, cool. I'm in an uptrend. Let's scroll in. So I know in an uptrend, I'm looking for buys. Once I get a little closer, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking for support and resistance levels, specifically a support level that I can find price to give me a confluence at to look for a buy. But I mark it out just so I can paint a picture, right? Technical analysis is breaking down the chart so you can paint a picture for yourself to actually have a good idea of where the market could potentially go. Support and resistance, if you're not familiar with it, go back and check my other video. I just made one on that for support and resistance. But to go over it, if you haven't had a chance to check that video out, support, you can think of it as a floor, and resistance, you can think of it as a roof. When price breaks through the roof, your roof now becomes a floor. And when price breaks below the floor, it now becomes a roof. It now becomes resistance, okay? I'm gonna look for a support level. So I have my resistance, let's find support. I'm just gonna look left. That's all you have to do. If you're not sure, if you can't find anything close, just look left. So I see here, this is my level that I marked out as a support level for me. This is a key level. This is a level I'm looking to place a buy from, right? However, price is way up here, so price might not come down here. This is just my theory, my analysis. Reason why is because we have price coming up in an uptrend, hit its head, and start bouncing down. So it bounced down. Price came up, created a high, and then started making lower lows and lower highs. You see how this low is lower then this low, this high is lower than that high, lower than this low, lower than that high, lower than this low, lower than that high, lower than this low. That might seem confusing, but it's just higher lows and higher highs. The market can not go straight up. If price is going to jump straight up, it doesn't work that way. How price moves in a trend is it's going to go up, make a high, come down about 50% and retrace, make a higher low, and then jump up higher, make a higher high, come down about 50%, make a higher low, break up, and so on, right? And it's just going to go up like a zigzag, constantly higher. Vice versa. It's the opposite if you're in a downtrend. Right here, we have a lower high. This high is lower than this one. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now, the first thing that I seen was price come up higher, retesting my previous resistance level and breaking structure. Break of structure just means a shift in trends. We're in a downtrend. This is the last high, and I see I'm going to mark that out as a structure level. Price came up, closed above this market structure level, and retested previous resistance. This has now validated this is a legit resistance level. We picked up above and closed back down. However, it still maintained to close above this previous high. So the moment this candlestick closed, this indicated that we could be in due for a market shift. All we have to do is keep paying attention to the market and look for multiple confluences. The whole purpose and the whole goal is to stack multiple confluences towards your analysis so you can paint a picture for yourself and clearly see and have the confidence that you're either going to buy or sell. You're going to have an idea and anticipate where the market's going to go. So that's all this is. This is a game of anticipation. Back to this. We have a downtrend. We have a resistance level. Market structure break. Retest of previous resistance. And came down and now made a higher low. This is a higher low. In a uptrend, you have higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs and higher lows. So after we broke the structure, retested previous resistance, came down, we made a higher low. So at this moment, when I was looking at the market this morning, I knew like, okay, cool. I'm a little more confident in taking a buy, right? Because if the markets just keep selling, like you're gonna, it can psych you out. It's called FOMO. With all these red candles, you're gonna be sitting here thinking that it's selling. You're gonna place your sells right here, and then prices jump up, and you're gonna be wondering why you stopped out. Because this is a stop hunt. This is market manipulation. It's considered a liquidation sweep. So anyways, after the liquidation sweep, we create a higher low. Then price comes up and breaks this previous resistance level. So the difference between these two price action here is that price comes up and drops back down. So it didn't close above this structure level. It respected it. It respected this as a roof. Imagine you jumped up, you hit your head, bam, on the roof, right? And you'd fall back down. Cool, fell back down. However, before getting down too far, it found support. So it found the floor, hit his head, bam. I'm like, okay, now I'm standing still, makes a higher low and jumps up. You see the difference on how this candlestick closes above this resistance level? So at this current moment, we're now looking at, let's go back and reiterate. We have a downtrend. We have a resistance level. Market structure break. Respect of previous resistance, right? It respected this level. This is a valid level here. We make a higher high. Higher low is what I meant. Then we go up, we make a higher high. This would be a higher high. Now, what comes after a higher high in an uptrend? I'm waiting. Exactly. You guys are smart. Yes. A higher low. Cool. So make a higher low, a higher high. We can anticipate a higher low. Where are we going to find a higher low at? Well, we already marked out our previous resistance level, which was respected here. So this is a valid level. You have confidence in this level. And then we broke above and closed above this level. So now, what did I say at the beginning of this video? As well as if you haven't checked it out, go look at my other videos. I have a more in-depth video of what support and resistance is, how to find the levels, and it's very simple. I simplify everything because we're regular people, man. And sometimes we just need it broken down as simple as possible so we can understand. Cool. So now I'm anticipating a higher low. Now with trading, I'm going to say this real quick before I let it go. So trading, in my trading plan with US 30 and NASDAQ specifically, I'm not going to take a trade before 6:30 a.m. Reason being is 6:30, our time here in California, is market open for the big Forex bankers and all the hedge funds that are actually trading the market. So before 6:30, 6:25, 6:20, 5:30, I'm simply doing technical analysis to paint a picture on the market so I can understand where my bias is of the market. Am I buying or selling? Am I in an uptrend or downtrend? And then mark the charts out so I can paint a picture for myself and wait for one of my key levels to be either respected or to break, to now look for confluences to place a trade. Moving forward, price comes down. Boom. Price comes down, respects this level again. However, there's some things going on here which is going to want me to not be concerned, but to be attentive and to look for more confluences. So prices came down. It's came down and actually has closed below our support level. So this area does cause some concern. However, we have stacked up multiple confluences so far, so I'm still confident that I need to look for a buy, right? The only way I'd be looking for a sell when I was in this trade is if I had this lower high here be broken. So if it closed below this, then I'd definitely be looking for a sell, because this was the last lower high. The same way it broke here and changed the market, if this broke, it would change the market. I'm not looking for a sell after my analysis until this was broken. So I was looking at the market, price came down. This is where it caught my attention because we came down to my level. As soon as we're at my key level, I'm on the market looking. Then we closed below it. It's 6:30. So now I'm looking to place my trade, right? Now it's getting close to it. However, we're looking for specifically a buy. So I need a confluence. Not only does price have to come to my key level and just place a trade, you need confluence, stack the confluences. So what I would do here is prices like this, I'm going to add on another confluence because this is making me wary. This is making me concerned that we could possibly come back down to this support level, break it, and look for, or now turn into a downtrend market when I'm looking to buy it. My whole analysis so far up to this time, which is 6:30, was buys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a trend line. I'm going to make a more in-depth video later on of what trend lines are, how to find trend lines, how to place them. But to simplify it on this video so I can show you how I took this trade this morning and made $1,000 in a day, is a trend line for an uptrend will go on the bottom, which is your higher lows. So you want to place it, you have a higher low and you have a low. So I'm going to place my trend line simply right here. This is how I do my trend lines. Put that thing right there. Boom. Now I got a trend line. Now let's go back. Again, you do this while you're marking it out. You want to go back and you're going to reconfirm it in yourself, in your head, that you know what you're doing, that you marked out everything properly, you didn't miss anything. You don't want to stress. This is all done in a calm, peaceful environment. Trading shouldn't be stressful. It is. The way it'll stress you out, you start losing some money. Especially you got all these fat red candlesticks, but that shit can be scary. So let's go back, right? We have resistance, downtrend, break of structure. So this turned into an uptrend. So that's the first confluence. That confirms that we're looking for buys. Second confluence, price comes up to our resistance level. It came up to the roof and bumped its head. Came up and shot right back down and closed below it. So that's my second confluence. That means that this is a respectable level. This is a valid level that I've placed. Price came down, shot up and closed above my resistance level. The moment this candlestick closed above and shot up this high, I automatically knew that we're in a buying trend, and all I needed price to do is give me either a break of structure for a resistance level or support level, right? So I'm up here, price comes back down, Now it's getting to this area. You're looking for a trade, right? If I'm looking for a buy, I want price to be at the support level. So once price came down here, I'm giving attention to the market. However, I'm not going to take a trade until we're back above my resistance level. So because currently this could sell, it could easily break all of this. However, now that I've placed this trend line, you have a higher high, higher low, higher high, and price came down to this level. What's important about this trend line is it's now giving me an area. So if I just boxed it off so you guys can look at it, if I box that whole area off, and you can just look at price in the box. I just boxed it off so that way you guys can see how many confluences we have in this area, so you can see why I was so confident taking this buy I did this morning and making $1,000 in a day. I actually made roughly $1,400 in a day, actually in less than 2 hours. However, the title of this is how to make $1,000 in a day. You can duplicate this process Monday through Friday and you can get paid. In this box, I see one confluence to where we're already back in my key level. So now I'm looking for a confirmation to buy. We have a trend line being made. We have an uptrend with higher highs and higher lows being made. We're coming down to a support level, which also matches up very closely with this trend line and where it's supposed to be. So all I simply need is price to come back above, not do this, not come back above and wick. I need price to come back up and close above. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let me delete this so we can get this out your way. Boom! Right? So that's your trade. Simple as that. Right? I just showed you guys how to make $1,000 in a day in 5 or 10 minutes watching this video. Repeat this video 100 times. I guarantee you that you'll make $1,000 a day. So this is your trade. Now, me personally, I'm an aggressive trader. I like to get in before the market closes because I want those extra pips, right? So I got in my trade roughly around 42,007, which is like, right, or 42,008. Boom. So like it was 850, something like that, right? So this is where I got into my trade. This is where I'm taking my trade right here. However, if you're new to trading and you're more of a conservative personality, or if you're just trying to learn the market and you don't want to be so aggressive, I'd personally suggest that you wait until the candlesticks close, because that will give you another confirmation, right? Versus sometimes this can happen with market manipulation. Price can come up, wick it, and come right back down, right? Cool. So this is the trade that I took. I got in right there at roughly 42,846. And your take profit, I'm just going to do my previous resistance level, right? If I'm on support, you're going to go to the floor. So your most current roof is my take profit. Then what I'm going to do is my stop loss. For newer traders, I suggest just putting it right under the low. So just put it right there. However, you see that turns this to a 2.77 with a 57 stop. Okay, so at this point, we have our take profit. We broke down the chart. You have your stop loss below the low. Let's see how this played out. Boom, just like that. In 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 minutes, I taught you how to make $1,000. I made $1,300 and some change in 50 minutes. Isn't that nuts? It's just insane, right? So what you can do is things like this or trades like this happen in the market on a day-to-day basis. So if you can just take the principle down, like this video and bookmark this video and go back and practice it and back test and spend hours and hours on these markets, right? You can become profitable. You can gain an edge on the market and you can start taking $1,000 trades every single day. This is super easy to make $1,000. I mean, from 6:30 to 7:30, I made roughly $1,400. which if I really didn't want to, I didn't have to do nothing else the rest of my day because I already made my money, man. In an hour, I made someone's weekly paycheck, and you can do the same by paying attention, being consistent, being disciplined, right? Taking a breath. Sometimes you guys be letting anxiety take over the control, my boy. Chill. So this is a trade I took this morning. This is how I break it down. Let's go ahead and reiterate everything that we just went through. That way you can copy it. So when I get into the market, I look for what trend that I'm in. Am I in an uptrend or a downtrend to figure if I'm going to buy or sell? Then I look for market structure. I look for support and resistance levels. So I found my support levels and resistance levels. Came up, made a resistance level, is in a downtrend with lower lows and lower highs. We have a market structure break where we broke the previous high, respected previous resistance, and made a higher low. Price comes up, breaks above our resistance level, breaks above the roof, creates a higher high, retraces down to our support level, and gives us a confirmation to buy the market back up to our resistance level. Now this trade is 159 pips. This trade, you could have made $159. You could have made $1,500. You could have made $15,000. You could have made $150,000. Now, simply based off of how much you trade, how much capital you have, and what your lot size is. My analogy for this, right, is learn the fundamentals, dude. If you can swim in a pool of 3 feet of water, if you're learning how to swim and there's 3 feet of water, if I throw you in a pool that's got 500 feet of water, if you know the fundamentals of swimming, you'll be just fine and you can still swim, right? It doesn't change how you swim because it's more water, right? It doesn't change how you trade because it's more money. You see? That analogy was on point, player. Oh, so anyways, the whole goal is just to take this video, bookmark it, like it, turn your notifications on so every time I post a video, you can get more new knowledge and keep practicing and back testing, and eventually you can make $1,000 a day. You can make $10,000 a day if you really wanted to, right? Why I love the Forex market is there's no cap on how much you can make. Sort of like sales with less work. It took me an hour to make $1,400. Well, not even 50 minutes. And you guys can do the same. So this was a short video. This is a very quick trade that I took this morning, and I wanted to explain to you guys and break it down for you so you guys can replay this video, go back, practice, back test, and learn how to make $1,000 a day. Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you've made it this far, I genuinely appreciate you guys. I'm actually trying to build a community here where we can all get paid and we're all hustlers, learning how to create from within and change our outer reality and get paid. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. If this had any value to you, if you found any value in this video, drop a thumbs up. You know, it's free, man. It don't cost you nothing. It's cost me my time. I recorded a whole video and forgot to click record for you guys and recorded it a second time, and I'm not even getting paid. I'm doing this for free. I don't need nothing from you guys. I get paid enough in my markets. So the least you can do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend. All right, man. Thank you for tuning in. A like, comment, and subscribe if you found any value in the video. I have new videos coming up. Soon we'll be getting into lifestyle vlogs, live trading to where you guys can sit and actually be with me when I'm making these trades. You got to wake up, though, depending on where you're at. You know, I'm up trading at 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. However, depending where you're at, wake up, come join us. We're here to get paid and live a life of abundance, man. So thank you for tuning in. Again, I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Other than that, we out.